welcome back into another episode of 4th and 5. Josh, first of all, welcome back. It's been a minute since we had you on. I know things are busy. You just knocked out these suits and sneakers gala up in Northwest Arkansas. Real quick, how was that?
Oh, my goodness. It was amazing. Cityscapes Magazine up here in Northwest Arkansas, as you know, they asked me to come in and do some hosting, social media hosting more or less. But, hey, that got me a ticket to the event. So I got to hang out with Danielle Musselman, Coach Musselman, the basketball team, a lot of people in and around the organization. I got to talk with Hunter Yurachek for a little bit just about, the event, bringing the community together, the basketball team, and how cool that is that they get to put on that event. So that was really nice. I'm telling you right now, one of the best events in Arkansas. I told you we're getting a table next year. You got to go.
I mean, if it falls in line with a home game football season, I'm there. But
we got to tell Pig Trail that you need some time off, and this is for a good cause, and see what they say.
I'm thinking work like that. I got to be boots on ground for these games because obviously that's what all the talk is about. People just wanting answers to what is going on. And right now, Josh, we are known as that team that is really good at almost winning. And it's fascinating because when you look at that, as a program, you have wins moral victories like you did against Alabama and LSU and, putting on a good performance on the road in Oxford against a high-powered offense. And you see these people saying, man, they're almost there, but at what point are we going to be a little too comfortable as a program of being okay with almost winning these football games? Now, I know it's night and day distance from what it was like with Chad Morris, and we got a little too used to a program that didn't even look like we belong on the football field, but it's nice to know that Alabama has to be on their P's and Q's playing against us. LSU has to take us serious each and every week. But fan base-wise, what do you think? Are they okay with just competing at a very high level against the top teams in the country, or do you think at some point, hey, we're done with these moral victories, we need these wins?
Man, gosh, I'm so conflicted about that particular topic because it's so multi-layered. It's so easy for fans out there to go like, no, this is unacceptable. The record, 2-5, coaches got to go. We're done. I get it when they say that because it's like we have to have a standard of winning games. And, you can be so close to winning games, forever, really. I mean, a win is a win and a loss is a loss. But if you're going to go out and say stuff like that, in my mind, it's like, okay, well, who are you going to go get to replace him? Yeah. If that's how you feel with any coaching change, whether it's offensive coordinator coaching change or it's a head coaching change, whatever it is, who are you going to get to replace him? So you have to have somebody there that you think can put the organization in a better place to do that. So I don't think there's somebody out there right now that I would rather have than Pittman at the moment that's available and would want to come to the University of Arkansas. So right now, if you look at it, I looked at some of the games that we played recently, but, LSU 34, Arkansas 31, 3 points. I mean, we're right there. The talent's there on the field for these types of games. Bama 24, Arkansas 21. Again, right there. I mean, a couple things go different and we can win a game, and we get tired of saying that, but we're in these games. We could be Mississippi State where they played LSU 41, Mississippi State 14, nowhere in the game, nowhere near. Alabama 40, Mississippi State 17, again, nowhere in the game. So our record, I'm that guy now. Our record doesn't show as good as we are. I get what I'm saying, and I hate that I have to say that because it doesn't necessarily reflect the way I feel about wanting to win games and demanding wins. But what's the alternative right now? He is close. I don't think it's Sam Pittman that we got to get rid of. I think there might be other ways, to patch this situation up and move forward with the rest of this season and next season without getting rid of Sam Pittman. So that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah, so when you look at you talked about LSU 3-point game, Alabama 3-point game, and you said it perfect, Josh. You said we're so close, so close. And when it comes to these close games, the little things matter, the details matter. And Josh, man, what I saw on tape, against Alabama. If we were going to beat Bama, this was the year. Even though they're, one of the top ranked teams in the country, only one lost team to a very talented Texas team. Still, we were right there and should have beat Alabama. When you look at the tape, so many self-inflicted wounds on Arkansas, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I'm sorry, on both sides of the ball. Alabama's 2 big touchdowns, completely mental breakdowns on the defensive backfield. You had a safety both times, just completely out of place. I'm going to show you a play right here. You can see right here, to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. I'm a little confused myself with what I'm seeing on tape. I'm assuming they're going to be in a quarters type situation where the corners have a fourth of the field and the safeties have the 2 deep middles. And for some reason, Chavis just jumps this route that's already defended by 2 other backers and leaves the guy completely uncovered for an easy touchdown. The ESPN announcers are talking about the deep ball is so accurate. I mean, shoot, when the coverage is busted like that, anybody can throw that football. So just a complete mental error, which led to a big touchdown. Another one where a linebacker jumps this route, again, for no reason. I'm assuming he's supposed to be in this deep zone because there's no one carrying where he is now. You have 2 guys covering the same space. And like I said, but watching tape, Josh, it's hard for me to try to decipher what they're trying to run. But another busted coverage right there. That's 14 points on the board for Alabama that shouldn't even be there. Our defense kind of was in a bend, not break mentality, making Alabama settle for field goals outside of mental errors. And on the offensive side of the ball, when you talk about so close, I would say up until the end of the first half, maybe early third quarter, Arkansas had like 18 rushing yards. And you think, oh, it's Alabama. It's Alabama. Josh, there's so many missed assignments on the offensive side of the ball, especially with that offensive line. And it's just hard for me to comprehend. Like, I've never seen anything like this. The defensive lineman for Alabama, Josh, he breaks through the line of scrimmage so fast and untouched, he stopped. And he started looking around because he thought it was a screen. He said, there's no way that I'm going unblocked. He stopped because he thought it was a screen. And then he realizes, oh, man, they just had a missed assignment. And then he continues to rush it. He should have got the sack. And so just unbelievable stuff to the point where I can't believe what's happening. And the Alabama defensive lineman didn't even believe what was happening. So outside of those, like, just mental errors that if you fix those, that makes up for those 3 points, Josh. And then there's a factor of a want to, and you have to figure out how to be that dog. And no matter the circumstance, just get up and put your body on the line and sacrifice it for your team, because that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm specifically talking about the running backs right now when it comes to pass protection. It's just it just looks on tape. If I were in the meeting room and I would have showed this in tape in front of the whole entire team and say, hey, AJ Green, on this one right here, you tell me if you think this is tough, or you tell me if you think this is soft. And you let them answer, because the film don't lie. Completely not wanting any piece of this defensive lineman for Alabama. Now, I get it. He's a DN. You're a running back, but still, it's football. You got to man up and make sure you at least attempt to get that block. That right there looked like he just passed that off. But he praised KJ for making something work with his feet right there, which he really didn't have to. Another one, DeBinion right here, has to be better in the pass protection. Josh, I really like DeBinion. Rocket's kind of like a week-to-week. We're not exactly sure what's going on with Rocket, but he needs to figure out how to be more physical and not pass up and seem so soft in pass protection, because that makes him one-dimensional. If he can add that aspect to his game, he can be on the field more and not as predictable of what to do with him once he's on the field. And so talking about next level when it comes to pass protection, those guys really got to figure out how to get tough and get that going.
I keep wanting to know what's going on with the running back position, because obviously big question mark on Rocket, but AJ Green, I mean, what did he come out with? 6 carries, 44 yards, average 7.3 yards a carry, and he only sees the ball 6 times. Where has he been the past few games? I don't know. These are all questions that I've got for our offensive coordinator, but we don't get to see him on the podium too much. I don't get it. I mean,
but I will say this. What goes into that is what I kind of showed earlier with the lack of pass protection. Like, you can't have a guy on the football field when it comes to that. And so if he's only good at running the ball, and if he's in for every run play, that's a tell sign for your defensive coordinators on the opposite side of the ball. So I would say if you're averaging 7 yards a carry, give the guy the ball a lot more. Why are they not doing it? it's because he needs to polish his game in other areas besides just rushing the ball. Now,
But
I
I'm
would
going to be
assume
honest with
that's
you.
the case.
You would assume, but I don't see him out there in pass protection a lot for me to get a lot of film on him to figure out whether or not that's working. And again,
Yep.
our pass protection seems to be a problem with the running backs that we're putting out there. So I sit back here and I go, well, why can't I see what AJ looks like? I mean, if their argument is, oh, well, they see things in practice, right? So they may know already it's not any good. Can it get any worse than what we see sometimes on the field? I mean, I'm not sure that it can. So I'd like to see AJ Green get a little bit more involved. I mean, it's the same thing that I was saying with Isaiah Santanga. It's like we saw what he can do on punt return, but then we finally started to see him get involved in some action. Quick little screen route, like we've been talking about for a few weeks. Like, why are we not getting this guy involved with the ball in space so that he can make a play with his feet? And he takes it for like 14 yards and a first down. These are the types of things that I'm talking about. Another quick slant that he took to the end zone as well. So why is it taking 7 games into the season to start to see things that you would assume, and obviously these offensive coordinators, the people controlling the offense, are smart guys. I don't get it. I don't get it. And when I don't get things and it seems so obvious, that's why you get these fans out here and you get people out here that start calling for jobs when you're 2-5 and there's obvious things that you can do, quarterback sneak, and it doesn't happen. And you're losing games like that. You start to really question things. When I watched the game, defense came out strong. Okay. We gave up big plays, but we came out strong. Cam Little is the, player of the game. Cam Little might be the best player on our team. He's awesome. I mean, he was kicking balls that could have gone for 70 yards. They had hang time after they went through the upright. Those things kept moving. Unreal. So, and it pissed me off. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It made me so mad when we are going into halftime. We call a timeout, right? We call it. We're on defense. We call a timeout. The ball gets punted to us. We get back on offense, and we run the ball twice to run the clock out. What do we call a timeout for? Explain me the strategy that I'm missing. We called a timeout when Alabama was down, I think, almost a minute left. We have roughly 50 some odd seconds left after we catch the punt, and we run the clock out. What was the timeout for? What did we do that for? Are we just scared to actually try to get in the field goal range? Because all I'm thinking is we just need to get to 48 yards, maybe even on our side, and we can kick a 60-plus yard field goal with Cam Little. But we have an offensive coordinator who's not aggressive enough to go to even try with 50 seconds left in a timeout to go get into field goal range. And it blows my mind. And guess what we lost by? 3 points.
Yep.
I don't get it. Explain it to me, brother. Explain it to me.
Fascinating of just, the signs are starting to show of not really trusting their offense. There was another scenario too. Ended up calling a timeout, and it was one of those situations where, like, do you go for it or not? And we're like, please don't go for it, but if it wasn't for some past failed attempts on 4th down, there was one Cam Little field goal. I believe it was the second one where we were in that 4 down territory. It's like 4th and 2. They kind of thought about it a little bit, called timeout, and then elected to kick the field goal. But, once it gets to that spot, man, we have to be at a place where you go for it in those situations. But I get why they didn't, just because of the track record and just where we are. And, you got a for sure 3 points in Cam Little. That's another thing. I love Cam Little. Yeah, my guy's got swagger. He's got confidence. He's as humble can be. But I'll tell you this right now. When your best player is arguably the kicker on your team, your program's in trouble. And this ain't a knock to Cam Little at all. And so, I would love to see. Yeah, I would love to see less Cam Little. I would love to see him out there for some extra points, because we have to figure out how to get that ball in the end zone. We'll save Cam Little for some game-winning field goals. But, Josh, we can talk about the issues going on with this football team all day long. This isn't going to be a very long episode for y'all here this week. Let's kind of move on to the aspect of Mississippi State. And we are now with the 8th game of the year. And I would say, Josh, this is an absolute must-win for the Razorbacks. If they don't win, I believe, we've had a long road trip. We've played tough teams, some moral victories. But if you don't beat this team, I think this is where the wheels start to fall off. And then, things really start heating up as far as decisions for next year.
You can't hang your hat on anything football-wise, Razorback football-wise this season. We are 2-5. We are 0-4 in the SEC. We are coming back to Fayetteville, Arkansas to play Mississippi State, and I have no clue how full or empty the stadium's going to be. That's the reality. We both know it, and I don't want to have a negative podcast. This is not a negative podcast. This is not a negative show. I want nothing but success. I want nothing but success for this program. But we are 2-5. We are 0-4 in the SEC. I said a few episodes ago, I said, if we go to LSU and lose, and then we go to Ole Miss, and then we go to Alabama and lose, we're going to be coming here defeated back to our home stadium. The only thing that's giving me hope right now is the fact that we've been competing in these games and we haven't laid down. That's the only thing that's giving me hope. But the reality is we play to our competition. Every game we've played to our competition. We did it against BYU and we lost. We did it against Alabama, we lost. And although we're playing well, we play well when we play good competition. So what are we going to do against Mississippi State? I wish I could predict that for you. I've heard a lot of people come out there and say, "Oh, hey, we played LSU to 3 points, played Alabama to 3 points. This is how we're going to play to Mississippi State." Well, did you forget BYU? I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but I think that was the last time we played at home at our stadium. Yeah. So here we are again playing a team that we should beat, and I can't promise you we will. If we come out and we change things mentality-wise, we stop playing to our competition, we play to the level that we played when we played LSU, that team can dominate Mississippi State. Yeah. I've got a score prediction for you. I know you don't give yours out until the Pig Curl Nation shows. I said, you know what, Josh Throne is about to give his out on 4th and 5. And we got 31-17 Arkansas.
Wow.
So it's not a blowout.
That's a bold prediction for someone who says, I don't know what to expect against Mississippi State. It sounds like you got to
pick. Hey, listen, you got to pick something. You know what my dad always said? He said, lack of a decision is a decision, son. So you got to make one. You got to make one.
Shout out to old Ron out there with that knowledge right there. But for sure, Arkansas is seeming to be in a must-win situation against Mississippi State, a team that on paper they should handle business, especially being a home game, first home game back, bye week headed in after that. Josh, if they don't win this one, you got to win 4 in a row to get to a bowl. That brings me to the question. If Sam Pittman can get to the bowl game, does the talk about his job security kind of go at a halt for a while, opposed to if he doesn't make it to a bowl, do you still see him as the coach next year?
Sam Pittman will be our coach next year, regardless of what happens this season. There's not a guy out there that we can get. I think we can all want to and will point the finger at the offensive coordinator. He's got a lot of offensive weapons. We've got receivers that are all over 6'3", 6'4" out there. But besides Isaiah, we have a big receiving core, and he's a heck of a player himself. We've got running backs that are good and performed good in seasons prior with different offenses. We've got a quarterback who was considered elite coming into this season. Although under Dan Enos' offense, he just went 14 completions for 150 yards and only 26 yards rushing. And we know that's not KJ Jefferson of old. So I think Sam Pittman's going to have his job. I think it's Dan Enos that needs to worry about where he's going to go. And I think we're already there. Even if we're not winning out this season, if we do, I'll eat my words and I'll be happy that I'm eating my words. But I don't think we're winning out this season. We need to focus on not falling completely apart after going 0-4 in the SEC, playing Mississippi State at home, where we don't know how many people are going to come to this game. Yeah. So that's what we got to figure out. It's not Sam Pittman to me. It's Dan Enos, and who are we going to find to replace him? That's where my mind's
I agree. Sam, I believe for sure will be the coach next year. If not, I'd be shocked. It is what it is. We've seen crazy things happen before. I still love that he has this team with that fighting spirit, not laying over, going out each and every week, seeming not to just listen to all the outside noise, but they got it seem like they figured it out on the same page and they compete at a high level. Sam Pittman doing a phenomenal job with that. Love what he's doing with that. Dan Enos, like I said, but there's just it's hard for me to figure out, Josh, because there's just so many missed assignments on tape. And I don't understand if it's just guys refusing to be coachable or coaches not being able to coach these guys. And then just the lack of ability to just do things that seem so simple. I'm watching our tackles kick slide, Josh, and I'm just like, yeah, they're just so slow. Like, feet cemented to the ground. This is what we need. Coach Musselman, he goes to all the games. The best training when it comes to footwork for offensive linemen is put those guys on a basketball court. I mean, you remember Ray Dominguez, baller. Big Zamal, baller. All these NFL guys that you see just moving their feet so fast, they're all phenomenal in the basketball court, just moving their feet. Like our tackles are so slow. So, Coach Muss, I don't know if you listen to 4th and 5, but if you do, I'm going to need you to go on up to that facility and say, hey, let me take care of these boys for a little bit, get that feet right. Because, I mean, it's just technique. I'm telling you, it's the most overlooked thing right now when we're looking at the issues for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And I know it just seems there's no way technique is just going to solve our problems, DJ. I'm telling you, it matters. When it comes to this level of competition, it's the smallest details that separate good from great, bad to not even belonging on the field. It's the little things, and I just really wish they would start working on that. Josh, we're getting a little tight on time.
Let me say this. I understand that in order for Dan Enos's offense to actually work, we have to be able to block and create time up front. I mean, KJ's got to be able to have a pocket to stay in.
They have to at least know their assignments to start with.
Yeah. Right, exactly. That has to be – it starts with the offensive line for the play to even have time to develop and for KJ to be able to go through his progressions and make plays. But as an offensive coordinator, when you're working with the team, and now you've had, again, can I say this one more time for everyone? 2-5, 0-4 in the SEC. We've had enough games go by to realize that that's a problem. Time in the pocket and our offensive line is a problem for our plays to be able to develop. We know what the problem is. So as an offensive coordinator, you have to start adjusting the way you run your offense to the strengths of your offense, which means do what KJ's best at. Option, get the ball out quick, get into space. You don't have much time. But again, seems like game to game, we don't really change that much. And the only thing that's really keeping us in these games is the fact that our defense held Bama to 24 points. Typically, Bama's scoring roughly 50-something points on Arkansas. They scored 24 points.
Yeah.
We scored 21. We had 150 yards passing. The offense is not the thing that's keeping us in this game. Yeah, defense gave up some big plays, but they kept us in the game. Dan Enos has to figure out to coach his offense to its strengths, even if that offensive line isn't given time in the pocket. Get the ball out quick. It's simple. It's very simple.
Perfect example of what you just said. A lot of people are saying, Dan Enos doesn't need to change his offense. He needs to bring it in. He needs to get his guys in that can run it and fit his system. And like you said, you just got to work with what you got. Bobby Petrino, we all know what he was like with the Ryan Mallett, a Tyler Wilson pocket quarterback spread offense, and had both guys at the top of their respective level in collegiate football. Some of the best quarterbacks of all time. And then he goes to Louisville and has a guy named Lamar Jackson, who's nothing like a Ryan Mallett or nothing like a Tyler Wilson. Completely different offense that he's going to have to incorporate to make this guy still be one of the best players in the country. And so you have the same offensive coordinator, same offensive mindset, with two completely different styles of offense, all dependent on what type of talent that he has. So I think that what makes great coordinators great is you work with what you got and stop making these guys who don't fit your system try to fit your mold. That's a special offensive coordinator if they're able to do that, because
100%.
And so it's possible. It's been done. We have seen it. All right, Josh, as we start wrapping things up this week on 4th and 5, we potentially have some exciting news, maybe a potential partnership. We're just going to keep talking about it until it happens, because, we're not owned by anybody. It's you and me who run this thing, so we're not going to get in trouble from any type of boss. Pigs brand, we want you. All right, we're going to be honest.
You know what?
We're not trying to play hard to get. We want you.
That's right. We like it. We like you a lot. We're repping it right now.
Yeah, we're
just
repping
because
Big Fan right now. So Josh was telling me about potential. I got this hat on right now. Apparently, this is Big Fan favorite. You got your black, red, white, black. All these are good. I have a couple hats here at the house. Last week, I said we were trying to do a giveaway. We're going to do it again this week, the red, white, and blue Pigs hat. Right now, you have to comment on this video that you're seeing right now. If there is ever a 4th and 5 in a game, it could be a punt. If it is a punt, you have to tell me if it's going to be a fair catch or return and what yard line the ball's caught on. If you can predict that, you're going to win that hat. Another situation, if they go for it on 4th and 5, if they convert it, you have to tell me if it's a rush or pass and who carries the ball or catches the ball. If you get that right, I know those odds are not very likely, but if you get it right, you're going to win you a nice little Pigs hat. But there is potential, Josh. You told me if you see the Pigs logo, but maybe a potential 4th and 5 logo here as well, right?
Right. So I was at that Suits and Sneakers event. I ran into the owners of Pigs brand, and they were there. They had an awesome setup. I have to post about that and show you guys that. It was pretty cool. They got some Must Bus hats, which is awesome. Some Pigs hats that say Must Bus on the front. And so kind of same style and everything. And we love it. We love their hats. I met with them. I talked to them. I think we've got something in the works. I've actually got an email. I've got an email that I was supposed to send out.
You didn't send that out yet?
I forgot to send it. I got to get it to. But hold on. I was texting with him. So I've got him here. So we'll get that all straightened out so that we can get that out to our fans because we want to be able to do that. And what if they don't get it exactly right? Can we pick the closest person to getting it right that might get a hat?
No.
They got to get it right.
We got high expectations for these players on this football field. We're going to hold our viewers to the exact same standard.
I thought we were going to have some moral victories for our show.
No. We're not going to settle for those. Not here on 4th and 5. But seriously, I tell you right now, all these brand marketing people are saying, "Oh man, that's the worst. You can't show your hand. You can't say whatever." Like I said, Josh, we ain't trying to negotiate. We want you, Pigs brand. All right, so we'd love for you to be a part of 4th and 5. And I think it goes without saying, Josh. Every time we run one of these things, what do you get asked? Where do y'all get that Pigs hat? Where's that Pigs hat?
Every single time.
Trying to tell you. All right, man. I can't wait. Hey, anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning in to 4th and 5. Make sure y'all pay close attention to that game for your chance to win that red, white, and blue Pigs hat. And as always, leave comments. Oh, yeah. What else you got?
Also, game. If you make it to it, Arkansas, it's 11 a.m. game. If you're out there, you're having a tailgate, make sure you hit us up on Instagram, DM us, hit us up on Twitter. We'd love to stop by your tailgate and put you guys up on social.
Oh, what do you want them to be ready to ask us? Or what do you want to be ready to ask them, Josh, if you go to the tailgate? What do you want them to prep for?
I want them. Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, they can talk football. They can, give their analysis on a specific thing.
You know what? I want good old-fashioned score predictions before the game. That's what I want. I'm going to stop at least 3 tailgates. I'm going to get score predictions before the game. And whoever's the closest to getting the score gets me to come back the next week, and we'll just make you a regular until you're wrong.
And you don't want that just 35-34. We want a score prediction. What do you think is going to happen? Why? I need it all. Is there going to be a turnover battle? Quarterback's going to have a big day in the air. Who can really break down and give us some spot-on analysis? And who knows? They may have a spot here on 4th and 5 of when it comes to our predictions each and every week. Who knows? A lot of potential here on 4th and 5. That being said, once again, we always appreciate y'all tuning in. Like and share. Comment everything you want. Tune in each and every week. I'm DJ Williams. That's Josh Throne. You're watching 4th and 5.